Well,
Huzzah for Area 51.
not yet.
Sorry,
Welcome
we're
to
gonna have to.
no, welcome to the Weebs podcast number 4. We are gonna talk about a lot of topics today, but we just want to congratulate our fellow Raiders on Area 51. Huzzah!
Huzzah!
Huzzah! So, congratulations. We're gonna do our first topic. What's correct? Toxic communities we've been a part of. Now, these are mostly fandoms, not really like. So it has to be a big community that would be recognized. That's the only real criteria, and they have to be toxic. So do you want me to start you guys
Or
off?
have had some
Yeah,
toxicity at one point.
Yeah.
So
So do you want me to,
I think we should start off with defining toxicity for people that don't know what it is.
I guess just
most
like
of us can kind of
I
figure
think
it out.
most of us can figure it out, but it's just a really I can't even describe it.
Is it
A community
poison?
that goes wrong, essentially.
Yeah, like how about
that starts turning against its own.
Yeah, I'll start and lay the groundwork for this because I know both of you have some to share. The big one I was a part of for about, and I'm still a part of technically, for about 13 years was RuneScape. And RuneScape has gotten better. I will give them that. But there is a lot of shitty people on that game. It was even, I think, I watched a lot of Watch Mojo, which is those shitty top 10 videos. And
They're not shitty, they're super shitty. But they're great.
They were actually RuneScape was actually mentioned in one of those videos about like terrible gaming culture, and I'll just explain like one of the clans I was in as I was,
World of Warcraft.
When I was in RuneScape. This was about 2009, I'd say. I was in this clan. They invited me, and it was a learn clan, and I didn't know what learn was at the time. And for all of you that didn't play, it's basically just scamming. You trick someone to go into a dangerous area, and then you kill them for their stuff. You say, sorry, had to do it. I hate it.
Wait, so what's it called? Learning?
Luring, like lure, like
luring.
Lure, I can't say it.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
Like, they were just the shittiest people. They try to claim it was player killing. Because if you claim it's scamming, you'll get banned. Like, dude, that's not player killing. You killed them against their will. You're tricking, not against their will, you're tricking them. And it was just a really toxic. Now, granted, it has gotten better over the years. But I'm trying to think of more examples, but Learn was the big one. What toxic communities have you guys been a part of so I can think of more?
Alright.
Because I'm trying to think of, it's hard to think of on the fly.
The one I'm going to say, and part of me, this is a lot due to the company that runs it, creating the culture, not necessarily the people in it, when I say, but Warhammer, and Warhammer 40k, the whole Games Workshop brand, has gotten really toxic. I haven't been in it in a while, so I can't say if it's gotten any better or worse, but my whole problem with it is it starts out...
I think that is OJ calling us.
Ooh. Do we got him on the phone?
We're all right. Did he text us back? Oh my god. Answer it, bro. Answer it.
Answer it.
We'll say we're live on the. Oh, this is great. Is it him?
No.
Oh, it's not. Crap. Oh well.
Someone from Utah.
Nobody likes Utah.
Crap.
Doesn't even have. It's not even Nevada. Like Nevada at least has Vegas. Whatever.
I don't know. It's Utah. I haven't been to Utah.
I can't speak.
All right,
but I know.
So
All right, back to Warhammer.
Back to Warhammer. Okay, so see, the problem with this game is it sets up to be similar to something like Magic or D&D, where you essentially anyone can get into it, and you just pay to get different you pay to start the game essentially. Yeah. And the thing about other games with for example Magic is you can still and not to say they're anything in mechanics similar, but or D&D you can play with that starter pack reasonably, but something like Warhammer it's really gets toxic because you'll go in one day, you'll pay $100 for a starter set, and then maybe you get, like the rule books with it. That's another 50. So 150 by the end of the day. For an average RPG or like miniature game, that isn't bad. Now, you go in, you do that, and then you play a game, and you're like, oh, this is great. And then you go home, you're happy. The next day, you come back, and no one wants to. They're like, oh, you're no longer a beginner, and everyone wants to play what's like a really high point levelage. So like typically in a starter set, it's about 100, like 100, 200 for a point levelage, maybe 300. That's how it was when I played.
So
And then they're gonna bump it up to 1,000. So all of a sudden, just to get your second game in, you're gonna need to pay like
it sounds like a scam.
$10,000. No, and here's what got even weirder.
It sounds like a pyramid scheme. Like you gotta get to the next level, you gotta pay.
Yeah, it
I'll sign you up for the first level, man.
Yeah, no. And then, so the one thing that got really weird is they almost started running it like a mass marketing scheme. Where I remember there was this thing. It was called It was like Battle Buddies or something.
Oh my god.
It was a really bad name.
Yeah.
But anyhow, the whole thing was if you got a friend to buy a starter set, then you got $50 worth of store credit. Now let me tell you what $50 worth of store credit could get you.
Not
It
much.
could get you maybe one squad. The average, like, you're probably gonna need at least 10 squads to even play a decent game.
Wow.
So, like, that's my whole beef with that. The lore in the game is honestly one of the best lores probably you're ever gonna get. The whole thing about the game, it runs solid, and they tried to condense it by putting everything online, like all the rules officially, but it didn't really work. You still had to buy the books if you wanted like the advanced rules. So, or like you had to buy like DLC. And I get the company has to make money, but when you're charging $50 for one little plastic figure
Ooh.
and
That's
50 to 100,
like crazy.
yeah. When like I get it, there's rarity to it, but so is there for like D&D minis and
Yeah.
like. Those you can get for like $5, or you can get a pack of them for 15. It's not as bad of an investment, and I think that's really like compared to it's probably the most expensive game, and I feel really bad for kids who try to get into it, like I did.
Especially their parents' credit cards.
Yeah, well, that's the thing too, and it's like
You get really into it, and then they're like, I can't afford it.
no,
It's kind of shitty.
and that's the whole thing. Like too, that really bothers me is like stuff like Magic.
I have a starter set. Yeah.
No, stuff like I've been in it for like 7 years and I've never had a problem. I mean, there's things in the community that have gotten really bad, but we get through it and it's over with. But the problem with it is it's just like at least Magic or any of the card games or D&D for that matter, or Pathfinder, they look at their competitors and say, okay, we can at least match your price, or we can actually put out the product. Where Warhammer, there's a reason why it's all dying, because that's why they're making like crappy mobile games and selling their name to anyone because they can't make a profit off their thing. Well, when to join is at least $100.
That's to join.
That's just to like join to get a starter set, and that's not even painting your minis. That's not including the dice, assuming you probably have dice if you've gamed before. But just the whole thing, like too. And I remember like you have to understand too. The games workshops, I ran forever about that.
Yeah, like I'm like, dude, cut it short.
But yeah, no, I have to say one thing. Their employees aren't bad, but like the games workshops,
which is like the store.
The store
you go to
all their games.
Yeah,
their employees are on commission, and
right.
it's really heavy commission. So
if they don't sell,
they don't sell. Yeah, they get fired or they don't make money for the day.
That's
so
shitty.
What I'd always run into is even for my armies. They would just be like, yeah, buy whatever. Or they'd be like, oh, don't you want this new thing? And it wouldn't actually help your armies. It would just get them money, essentially. And that's what really kind of pissed me off. I get you need to make money in the long run, but is it worth it at the expense of screwing over your customers?
I was trying to find a picture that kind of summed up the RuneScape community and like going back to this after that. I'm sorry, not to, but it was there's these three people fished or like probably a group of people fishing at Barbarian Outpost. No, not Outpost. Village, and like someone said, hey, they made a joke about the like, I hope they're biting good today because they're fishing. It's just a game, yeah. Like, and to sum it up, people just said like, can you like stop talking? Yeah, it's better when it's silent. Like, fuck you, people. Anyways, that's
You can't disturb the fish, bro.
yeah. It's like I don't know. That's RuneScape. I didn't go too in depth on mine because you just kind of have to play it and see the
Can't
shitty.
disturb the fish.
And there were a few shitty YouTubers in RuneScape. Return to Wellness. I remember there was one back in the day called CLS Project. That's all I can think of off the top of my head. What about you? Do you remember any cool toxic communities you were in? You probably have a few.
Yeah.
That was kind of a lot.
Yeah, no.
Sorry.
I think one toxic community was.
Okay, now if you can't think of any more, we can
I'll move
we'll
on.
move on. It's like I could barely think of anything about RuneScape either.
I can think of one we were in for a while that you stuck with a little longer.
I don't think I can think of any.
What was that?
Call of
That
Duty.
are
Call of Duty. Well, everyone knows fucking Call of Duty.
Yeah,
like that's like
there's
they're like the
it's such an unbalanced group of people.
like you got the
Everyone plays it.
yeah, and that makes sense. Yeah,
Fortnite community.
fair enough.
God, fucking toxic.
Is it?
I never,
Is it really?
I never got into Fortnite, but I know that shit.
I mean, like,
Consists of kids or adults that
Or pedophiles.
are pedophiles.
are there really? Are there really?
I should say that. Do not quote me on that. That was a
I
joke.
don't know. That might be taking it a bit too far.
Yeah,
But,
that was a
you know,
joke.
I mean, like from what I understand about that game, like any game, it's a good game
Ever
until
heard
you
of a
take it way
Fortnite
too
daddy?
far.
A Fortnite daddy
Is this a real thing?
is an older guy who buys Fortnite for younger boys. I mean V-Bucks for younger boys.
Is that true or is that a joke?
No, it's actually a thing.
Yeah,
Okay.
I probably don't doubt that. There's
I don't doubt that either. That's kind of scary.
We're gonna go out of order here, and we're gonna talk about something that would have affected me if I hadn't quit. Have you guys heard of those people dying because of vaping? I think 7 people have died so
I
far.
think it's 6.
No, I think today someone died as well. And there's been like 400 or so people sick.
All fun and games.
Before we get on my strong feelings about this, do you guys have any comments? Because I'm going to be talking a lot about in this
Dick, I
section.
kind of want to hear from you.
Yeah, what do you think about the vaping ban?
Because you're probably the most neutral.
Yeah, like
I kind of think like if like I don't know.
Come on, man.
you just not care, or like
Do you?
I kind of don't care.
which is fair enough. That's still an
So
opinion.
let
I
me
don't
put
really
it this way:
make-
they're trying to outright ban it. Do you think it should just be more a thing like cigarettes, where they put a label that says, "Hey, this product may cause this," or do you think
I mean,
it should stay the way it is, or do you think?
I think
you know what? 1 second, you guys talk. I have a bottle in my bag, and I guarantee they have a label on that. So do some improv.
Okay.
I think it should exist in the marketplace, but it shouldn't be targeted for younger people, but targeted for like.
Well, you have to be
adults.
18 to buy it.
21 in certain states.
Okay.
I think they should
So-
up the age.
All right.
I have
So,
my own opinion on this. I just wanted to see what yours was.
what do you think, Nathan?
Okay. So I think honestly, it's one of those things where I think a lot of the misconception comes from, and this is like why I think something much more dangerous like cigarettes gets off the hook is because the FDA has looked at cigarettes and they put a label on it that says, hey, you smoke cigarettes, you might get cancer, but we can still sell the product. Vaping, I think, is healthier if it's a reputable dealer. Like if you're buying stuff off the streets, which is probably what
I mean,
these kids were doing.
they were buying bootleg,
Yeah.
like not CBD, THC cartridges. That's the people that, at least what I've heard,
What
have
I've
died.
seen. Because like
Obviously, the sickness might be from contaminated juice, but from in terms of the deaths, they were contaminated THC cartridges.
Yeah.
Do you think you'd be arrested for possession of that right now?
I would not know. But what I was saying, my opinions on it. I mean, I was a former vapor. I still am, because I have it in my bag, but I'm not hitting it at all. I take the stance of a kind of libertarian stance of it's your body, do what you want with it. Like you want to eat yourself to death, do it. Just don't cost me anything. But I can see where people's concerns are coming from. But really think about how many people died in the last 24 hours because of cigarettes. How many people have died in the last 24 hours because of vaping? One, six deaths over the past years. So I consider it probably safer. Now, obviously, any smoke inhalation is not good for your lungs, but that's why they have an age limit on it. Because hey, you're an adult now, you can buy this. You're responsible.
I honestly think all ages could use it. I think it's
I wouldn't
completely.
go that
I wouldn't go that
I
far,
think
but
it's
like if you give parents
I
permission,
would go pretty far for it, honestly.
with parents' permission, I pretty much agree with you. But
Because
most parents would not say it.
I honestly think it should be recommended. It should be FDA approved. It should be all the sorts.
All right, but it's just
Should put it on the shelves of Learning Express and say
I just don't.
$5.
He's
He's BSing us. Do not take that. But like, I find it really odd that I think I saw this meme on Facebook. It was like, that's the best place to find memes, by the way, just to piss off some redditors. There's like, I think it was Michigan that I didn't look into it, so don't quote me on this. I think they banned vaping and something like that. But Michigan's willing to take action against vaping with six deaths, but they can't get Flint, Michigan clean water within a couple of years. So that's kind of crazy. But that's a different topic for a different day.
the thing that like really bothers me is how people get on stuff like that. Like we have a lot more dangerous things going on in the world.
Yeah,
You know,
the opioid crisis, for example.
Well, not even that, but like you look at stuff like that really needs to be, like looked into stuff like human trafficking, like that kind of stuff.
You never hear that
And
go
you
on.
you
in
you
the
never
news
you never
and
hear about like anyone.
Yeah,
I shouldn't say never, but
never,
you
but
rarely
once
hear
it-
about people like raising money for that or like anyone in an uproar that there's all these like underground
Wait, how do you
rings
raise
of
money
that.
for
To stop it? Awareness.
the problem is people's attention spans are so short. Remember the Amazon burning? I mean, there was a big uproar about it, and then
And no one cares now.
now nobody cares. And now I forget how much of it burned. Like,
It's a lot.
was it
It is a lot.
3/5? Like,
It was a lot, yeah.
and that's like a lot of the oxygen from the earth comes from that shit. So
Yeah, no, that's a
biggie. And now because it's mostly a human problem. So yeah,
Wait, so
we
that's
can
where the
go.
oxygen came from?
Yeah, like a majority. Don't quote me on this, but a lot of Earth's oxygen comes from the Amazon rainforest.
I did not know that.
I know that's a recent until that burning either, but now nobody cares about that.
Yeah.
So what caused the fire?
I don't remember, and
I'm trying to remember.
But
We didn't fact check.
we'd have to fact check that. We don't want to say something that's completely wrong because
It's little Jimmy.
Well, the problem too that
I
like
think it's Little
everyone
Jimmy.
like that
Yeah.
I really feel
Jimbo!
bad for, like in the situation.
Little Jimmy put a fork in the power outlet.
yeah, next to a tree. No, there was a tree with a power outlet.
Yeah,
It was like
trying to get to the real.
I actually did that when I was 4. I put a paperclip in a power outlet.
That's
was cute.
It's okay.
All right.
It's funny.
I always think I talk better when I'm not on camera, so that's a problem. But I do not see the same warning on this that I usually see on my old bottles. So there's a warning. It's actually very small. Hey, look at that shit. Well, on cigarettes, it's like half the fucking box.
What's the actual like text on it?
Nicotine is an addictive chemical only used in vapes. Do not drink, obviously. I've gotten like juice on my hands that licked it off. It was horrible. Stupid me. Harmful if swallowed. Do not get on skin. That's a problem. Not address that. In contact with skin. Wash thoroughly with soap and water. If, do not use it primary breastfeeding. Do not use.
What's the ingredients?
I don't know. There's a lot of probably shit, but
Stuff you can't pronounce?
I have to look into it. But I can look over it over time if I really want to. But that's probably not
So
too
it's a long
important.
list, I'm guessing.
There's a lot of shit, but there was an interesting ad put on was it TV recently when school started for the people. You brought this up,
Oh,
Nathan.
okay.
So it was a
There's this I need to look up the organization. I believe it's
I'll look it up right now.
it has to deal with Sandy Hook, and I actually one of my professors showed this to us first thing in class. Of course, he's like, yeah, this is a little like I don't want to say extreme, but it deals with a sensitive subject matter. It's causing a lot of controversy. If you don't know what it is, essentially,
we might link it in the description just
just
because it's a pretty big video.
yeah,
SandyHookPromise.org.
yeah.
That's probably it.
So that's
the
where it
website.
comes from, and it's obviously after the Sandy Hook shootings.
About
What the fuck are you?
what are you doing? But anyways, the ad itself is shocking to say the least, and it should be because
It's a dangerous subject matter.
it's a controversial subject matter. Maybe not in the saying it's bad, but in the sense of
No,
how
I
to
think
solve it.
we can
all agree it's bad.
School shootings are bad.
But in terms of how to solve it, that's where we're all like.
Well,
all
and
over
the
the
thing
place.
is, a lot of people like when you look at this, it starts out really happy, like, oh, my mom bought me this new backpack.
These new binders, and then all of a sudden, and as the shooting is going on in the ad, they're saying like, "I got
Like,
the
it's like some
stapler."
weird.
Yeah, it's
It's all
It's-
jokes.
yeah,
Or
it's
well, it's done.
yeah, it's all
Okay, so
whatever.
anyhow, so yeah, it's basically just they put this the ad out, and it starts out all happy, and then there's a school shooter, and they're like, oh, these scissors come in real handy for stabbing,
Stapler.
and like yeah, it's a lot of stuff like that, and it gets pretty violent. There's a lot of blood in it for a public like TV commercial.
This was aired, by the way,
Yeah,
and it is gonna be in the script. I won't.
Yeah, it's rather violent for like a public,
The kids seem pretty
television
calm during it.
1 second. We're back. Sorry. Where the fuck were we? So we described the ad. What was your you wanted to bring this up? So
Me?
why did you really want to bring this up?
Why I wanted to bring this up was it's just interesting because at first I was like, why would they air this? Like, it's really there's other ways to communicate the message. Originally is what I thought. It was going a bit too far. Especially, there's a famous one about drunk driving that's very similar to this that I learned about in tennis actually, and it was produced in Ireland. Essentially, what it is there's this drunk driver, but it's actually kind of comical because it's so cheesy, and it was made quite some time ago. So there's this drunk driver. He hits a curb and he like flips like 8 times in the air and just lands on children, crushes them, and they all bleed out to death.
I should be laughing. That's actually
well, it was just so over the top.
yeah. It sounds like
not how it would happen.
Comical. Like, in a fucked
like
up
that's
way.
not how it would happen.
No, it'd just be like
yeah. But even that one didn't show quite the blood and gore. Like
I actually didn't finish the ad. Is it really bloody or
the Sandy Hook one?
Yeah, I didn't finish.
There's one part where like a kid gets like shot in the leg, he's bleeding out, and they have to tourniquet it with one of the girl's socks.
Wow.
So yeah,
I just got to the part where the footsteps happen or whatever.
Yeah, no, and then it infers, a girl got like murdered in the bathroom. Essentially, it gets really dark,
but my issue with that is like, I feel like TV is too. It should be regulated, obviously, but too strict on that shit. That's why people love HBO, because you can show certain shit. Obviously, it's fiction, but in terms of like they can get away with that crap. I feel like it should be a little bit more lax. Like, hey, this is an important issue. We might need to shock you in order to say, hey,
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, now, do I think it went a little far? Yes, but do I think they needed to go that far? Yes, because
Fair enough. Yeah.
when I was talking in class today, everyone in our class has had either like we have one person who's actually experienced an active shooter moment, and then we've had everyone in the class has at least had a threat and or multiple threats to the school. So
Now, not to be this guy, but I'm going to be the guy anyway.
okay, you're gonna be the guy.
I don't find threats to be. I don't think threats should count because if you're going to do something fucked up, are you really going to let people know ahead of
Yes.
time?
That is actually a very common thing. That
Is
when
that-
you look at a lot of crime, that's a very common thing.
So they let you know, hey, I'm going to do this horrible crap. So
Yep.
they're prepared, and then you're like, oh, great.
Yeah,
The
it's
criminals aren't that
very
Common?
it's very common because
I stand corrected then. I did not know that. I thought.
it's a whole intimidation kind of. A lot of it is intimidation because a lot of when you look at like school shootings and really calling it for what it is, terrorism in general, a lot of it isn't necessarily about the act. It's about causing change or trying to push a message. So it's basically a form of protest that is extremely wrong. So for example, like I know the whole like motivation behind like Sandy Hook and stuff was obviously the kids had issues going on, but they were being bullied a lot, so they felt it was like their retaliation, their way to show hey, stop bullying me, which is going way too far. There are way more healthier ways to deal with that.
Obviously.
But that was like the kind of thought process there. So a lot of like criminals will, not even in situations like that, but like those like call, and that's why threats are taken seriously.
Oh,
It's not a thing like it's different from a prank call, like a threat.
Oh yeah, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Like I would never think that. Oh, I'm gonna let
Yeah.
someone know before I do this
Yeah.
crap.
A lot of people, but like look at. I mean, this is kind of more of a joking matter, but look at the Area 51 thing. That was planned so many days in advance, and that was technically illegal.
Fair enough.
I mean, everyone knew it was going to happen.
Like 21st
Even though it
century
was
Fox.
not really that.
Yeah. All right.
Alright,
I think we milked
next
that
on
from.
the list.
Milked
Milked it like the cow.
Milked it like the cow.
Milked it like the cow.
This is just one that Nathan wanted to bring up. Truck culture.
Oh yeah.
We're just pissing off everybody today. I love it.
We're what?
No, just talk about the people on your campus
Okay.
with the truck.
This is a beautiful story. Alright. So, I in the magical land that is Wisconsin and a lot of rural areas, there's a thing called truck culture. Now, this isn't like truck driver culture. That's a whole nother
No
culture.
semis. Like
Yeah, this is like pickup truck culture. And for most people, it's kind of a joke, honestly. Like they accept it. They're like, yeah, cool. So
it's kind
not,
of like
not
being
including
weebs.
everyone.
Kinda
Yeah,
like-
yeah, it's the same thing. Now,
Yeah.
there are people though who take this to heart,
Yes.
and I drive a Chevy S10, so that's one of the smaller pickup trucks you can buy. Now, people have called me like they're like, "You're not a real man. You don't drive a Ford F-150," and gotten like pissed about it.
My mom drives a Ford F-150. Is she a real man?
Like or like it's pretty much it's this weird thing. Like for some reason,
It's like a cult.
yeah, they're
Like,
inherently.
you're not a real person unless you drive this.
And okay. And then here's the funny part though. So well, it's not funny. It's kind of sad. There's these people who will take their Ford F-150s and just burn out on the street, revving the engine in a zone that you're supposed to be going maybe 15 miles per hour, and like their whole idea, if you ask them why they do this, is they want to attract women.
Okay, like,
And
isn't the joke that like people with pickup trucks have small dicks?
yes, that's exactly where this comes from. Because
Yeah.
like literally, if you go on social media, like there's a bunch of girls that are just like, hey, doing this does not make you inherently more sexy or something. It actually can detract.
I would have to disagree, honestly. Like, I think people, men, women with trucks, pretty goddamn fucking sexy.
But if you're like overcompensating, it's almost like overcompensating. When you're like,
So
That's
are
the
you
whole
the fucking
thing about
engine?
it.
So-
That's what makes it sexy. Is the big
I just
wheels,
is
the
it?
big sounds,
I
and that they're a
you're
little
in the
person
minority on
behind
that
the
position.
wheel. I mean,
Yeah.
they're fucking sexy and handsome. And they
Okay.
drive them big
Fair
motors.
enough.
Different opinion.
No matter what the person
We
says.
accept all opinions on this show. We just don't like that. I don't think that made any sense.
All opinions, but we just throw them out the window.
Yeah, we just say whatever, dude. Where the? I'm trying to find a quote. But I don't know. Go on.
Okay.
What we're gonna? What
Yeah,
else?
no, I was just gonna say the whole thing about like half these cars are super slow too. Like they're like running a 3-cylinder engine or something sad in them. Mine's got a 6, so it's like physically can go faster. Like theoretically, I don't do street races, but if I were to do street races, like I could probably beat it. It's kind of one of those, you know.
It's not like biker culture, which is pretty.
That's they
There's
do some good stuff.
yeah, of course.
It has its rough moments, like everything.
Yeah, but
They do a lot of charity rides. No, this is just like literally.
like I'm gonna rev my engine.
It's
What
flexing.
time?
It's flexing.
What time are they doing this at?
Like 3 a.m.
So it's like the worst time
It's
of day.
2 to 3 a.m. Yeah, most people are asleep. Well, not necessarily in the college, but this is like something in the.
It's
community.
time to be quiet. Basically.
It's like frogs in a mating ritual.
Of course, Reddit had to say, "How did this become a thing?"
Oh God,
There's memes of oh my god. Oh, funny. Oh well. What was the other one we were gonna talk about? Oh yeah, is horror dead?
Is
So
horror dead?
I don't watch enough horror, but you guys watch enough horror.
What do you mean by horror dead?
Has the genre died?
In terms of like movies?
Quality.
I'm guessing. Yeah, quality.
It's kind of like.
I'm just looking at. I should stop looking at.
I mean-
Truck memes.
Truck me.
The best memes.
Oh my
It's okay, but it's kind of repetitive, man.
I mean, once a successful horror genre, not horror genre, horror movie comes out, everybody tries to copy it. It fails horror.
It's not much that
You
the
again.
whole
Most of the
way
topics were from
through.
you, so
They kind of were. Was there anything like other than vapes you wanted to talk about?
I want to get more. I thought I had more to say, but I don't know.
No, we got a
How about
filler
filler
arcs.
filler
2
arc.
months from now is the
Filler.
22nd century? The 21st century really flew by, didn't it, guys?
No, John. You're mistaken.
No, the 22nd century starts in 2 months, dude.
2020 starts. That's kind of cool. AVGM will review
you
Rain
joking,
2020.
dude?
Yeah,
He's talking about
AVGM
the
review
year
Rain 2020.
3000, man. 2
I
months
love
from now.
I love the year 3000 because nobody ever makes movies in that year. Wait, they do. Never mind.
Year 3000.
In the
I
year
still don't know.
3000.
No, but the 60s, man. Oh my god.
The 60s were
The movies in the 2060s were the best, especially the comedies.
I think
That's when
you're
they really
mistaken.
got hit. Remember the Back to the Past?
Back to the Future.
We're going back to the past.
You mean that old age crap?
All right,
That old age.
Dick,
crap.
are you a time traveler?
No.
Oh,
Hopefully you are.
he's a time lord, guys. He has 2 hearts. He's Doctor Who.
Doctor. I'm trying to
I haven't
find. I
watched
should look at Facebook and try to look at more topics you can do. So we're going.
Okay. Well. All right. So after that brief break of stupidity
Yeet.
in which we talked about Captain Planet, among other things, which we'll get to.
We'll get to that.
We needed more ideas, so we took
Yeah.
a break. All right,
Yeah.
so we're going to talk about Has Horror Died? Now we have to look at it from all its stages and how it's evolved. But in my opinion, and Dick, tell me if I'm wrong, but I think as everything's gone on, okay, especially, and I hate to say this, but James Wan stuff. So that's going to cover The Conjuring, Insidious, Annabelle movies, that whole like slew. It was good, but it seems they follow the exact same plot line every single time. And all they do is slap a new paint on it. Would you agree with that?
Yeah.
Okay. And that kind of bothers me because like where's the originality? And like it's not even like a fun thing. Like you look at now my two favorite horror movie series of all time is the Hellraiser series and the Saw series. So
It kind of got shitty after one, to be honest.
what Saw?
No, Hellraiser. Like we're like not like 6 out of 9 straight to video
Oh no. The first three were
movies.
well okay.
But
Here's
4 and beyond were just straight.
here's
to
the
video.
thing you have to realize about Hellraiser. They changed everything from the books. Pinhead was
There were books. I know.
Yeah. Pinhead was a woman to start. Not to say Doug Bradley didn't
I actually, Jared, he's a cool villain.
a phenomenal job with his role back then. Because he did, and yeah, they thought, quote, this is a woman couldn't be intimidating enough as a villain.
I mean, that's not true, but whatever. It was the 80s. Anything was possible.
Yeah, no, so that was their whole. I definitely would disagree. But yeah, that whole realm there. Really.
Is Arthur anime?
Oh yes. Hell yes, Arthur is anime.
What about Darkwing Duck?
What?
Darkwing Duck.
I have no clue what that is.
All right, Pinky and the Brain.
I'm gonna have to go with a hard no on that.
Doug.
I'll probably just switch the top.
Doug.
Doug? What is Doug? What is that?
I looked at cartoons in the back.
You're just like cartoons.
All right. Smart. All right. So.
Martha Speak.
All right. What about Rugrats? Hey Arnold.
No.
Oh, Hey Arnold.
I'm gonna go with no, but a hard yes on Kids Next Door.
Oh yeah, that's like the best live action animated movie.
Totally.
I like the arc where Court in the House does a crossover. All right, so what was the other one? Oh, cartoons in the 80s.
Yeah. So anyhow, what I was gonna get to is I thought horror was dead. Then I saw Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, and I'm like, yay, we have a gateway horror movie from for kids that isn't shit. So yeah, I guess it's back alive again. Thanks, Del Toro doing it again.
Rocket Power, is that anime? It has a lot of good arcs, a lot of good filler. It's one of the good filler I know.
I'll count it.
He-Man and the Masters Universe, definitely anime.
Oh yes.
What other ones are we looking up?
I love how. Can we just talk about the names there? It's He-Man and She-Ma.
I think it's She-Ra.
I think it's She-Ma. Is it?
Now we gotta look it up because I have
no idea. Watch it. Someone's gonna hate me.
She-Ra is.
Yeah, She-Ra 80s. She-Ra, the Princess of Power. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's still she. It's like he and she.
He-Man and the Masters of the Universe.
It's literally. It's like there's like what do we just call them? Two general pronouns.
Yeah, I'm yeah. What was the other one? What was the other anime? Oh yeah, Thundercats.
Wait, no. Actually, that did come from Japan.
What?
You didn't know that?
I actually never watched Thundercats.
Yeah.
I never watched Thundercats.
It technically is an anime. It did come from Japan. It was produced by Panda. I was quite surprised that my brother.
Alvin and the Chipmunks.
No. I'm gonna.
Why does she wear a dress if she's gonna show off her junk anyway?
What is that referring to? I don't even
You,
know.
you know when you know. I'll be the thumbnail of this.
Oh,
I'll actually fill up the air. I'll look it up.
Fill up the air with carbon dioxide. Can we talk about weird workout videos? Have you seen any of those?
Yeah, they're great.
Like,
They're
aren't
really
they
like, I'm gonna start walking. I lose all my weight. Well, that's
There's
a
this one
start.
critical video where he reviews this one lady, and literally it's like these breathing techniques, but whenever she does a squat, she's like, you know what I'm talking about? Where she like starts dry heaving, she's like,
As someone who's had the dry heaves yesterday, yes, I know.
What
But
is dry heaves?
it's like, is that when you puke and have nothing in your stomach?
know what?
I think that's what. That's what.
Is it?
That's what
Is
happened
it?
to me. Yeah, that's what I said that happened. That's what they referred it to. But this is what I was talking about.
Okay.
She. Why even wear it at that point? One in the middle. Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's kids.
Yeah. Kids are dumb. They don't know anything.
Hey, Squidward never wore pants.
And they actually referenced that when SpongeBob was normal. Like he's like,
True.
it's Squidward, don't wear pants. It's like, get out. It was great. I loved it.
True.
It was like the SpongeBob.
It is. It is.
It is crossover with Corey the House.
It has so many good arcs.
Including the Patrick is dead
right into the MCU. Right. No doubt.
I actually don't like the MCU. I think it's for normies.
Yeah, but if SpongeBob was in it, man.
Oh yeah, I forgot. I forgot he was in the MCU.
Yeah, man.
What is MCU?
Marvel Cinematic Universe.
All the Marvel movies and all their cancer, their glorious cancer, all their Thanos.
I actually do like Thanos as a villain.
Dude, man, Thanos is so thick.
Yeah, he's a big green guy. Or purple, sorry.
I'm like, wow, someone's saying inverse.
I'm thinking of Shrek, and he's just as powerful. Whatever.
I can assure you, we are not high right now.
But like,
I feel
yeah,
like
you know, if I was high, there was like Shrek versus Big Chungus with the Infinity Gauntlet.
Oh yeah. Wait, no, just list a few, and we're gonna do
debate. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so Shrek with his fully armored. There's a movie where he's armored. Big Chungus with Infinity Gauntlet. What was the other one? Oh yeah, Shaggy 1% power, and entire vibranium army if you got it.
All right, what do you think would win?
Yeah.
Dick. What do you think's gonna win, man?
Do you want me to read the list off again?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Did you just like fall asleep?
Yeah, you might have fell.
No, I technically
fell in his. I saw it.
Just like magically dissipated from this universe.
Who's gonna win? All right, so we got Shrek fully armored.
Fully armored.
Yeah, he's in the armor from that. I forget which movie he's in. Which arc. We also have Shaggy at 1% power, Big Chungus with the Infinity Gauntlet, and an entire army of vibranium United Knuckles. Who's gonna win?
I'm saying United Knuckles. There's no way you can stop them from finding the way to hit the Duck Queen.
What do you think, Dick?
It requires much thought.
Yeah, it is a tough question, but
what do you think?
Shaggy before.
But the minute, like, okay.
Oh, you're going Shaggy. You're going with literal God.
Yeah, I'm going with Shaggy too. Shaggy has Ultra Instinct. Now, if you remember back to Dragon Ball Super episode 130, I think, there was like Ultra. Jiren could not even touch Goku in Ultra Instinct. Now, Shaggy in base form is equal to Ultra Instinct Goku. So, like, we're talking about like a lot of power. So, how it's gonna go? This is right, like I'm an insane person.
How it's gonna go?
All right, so first of all, Uganda Knuckles are gonna fight against Shrek, and they're just gonna destroy each other. But once it gets down to Big Chungus and what was his name, Shaggy, like if he goes to 2% power, it's over. Like you're not gonna be able to win.
I was thinking of Shaggy.
Actually, I'm gonna change my answer.
Well, who?
All right, this is gonna blow your minds. Okay,
Who?
so love conquers all, and if Shrek is love, Shrek is life, then he conquers all.
Yeah, but Ultra Instinct
No,
surpasses
that
time
is the
itself.
words of the sacred book.
No.
Love conquers all. Thus, Shrek
Shaggy?
conquers all.
Ultra Instinct is stronger than time itself. I rest my case. I was gonna drop my phone. I didn't want to do that.
But
Do you
Shrek
have a
is
mic I could
God.
drop?
There was one. I don't know where it went. Wow.
Oh well.
Oh wow. Oh wow.
Oh wow. Well,
Oh wow.
what other questions can we talk about? Justin Trudeau.
Yes. His magical.
Or should I call him
costumes.
Justin Popo?
Yes. There's one very famous image of him black facing out there that has surfaced. He's wearing a very stereotypical Arabian attire, I guess you could say, like the like not like what they would really wear, like the stereotypical
I
Aladdin
got a magic carpet.
yeah
That kind of
that kind of stuff. Yeah, and this picture surfaced of him, and it's interesting. And there's been some great edits of it, and one of them is him as Mr. Popo, and it's beautiful. I wish I could have saved the image.
I like Justin Trudeau at all, so I'm not too sad about this. I think when he said people kind, I'm like, I don't like you anymore.
He said what?
All right, so someone, there's mankind, and if he says men in it, it's like, okay, we're gonna say people kind. It just doesn't work well. Like, it was during some college shit or
Oh,
something.
okay.
Like, you awake? You awake, Dick?
Yeah, I'm awake.
You're blocking Nathan. Fair enough.
Or was I blocking him?
You're not deep. You know who is deep?
Beef Wellington.
Filthy Frank
Get
is
it?
actually deep. You look
Oh,
into
dude,
his,
Filthy Frank was a god.
yeah.
I missed
At
him.
least he stopped when he was he didn't turn shitty. He's not like a
Yeah,
lot of
yeah.
YouTubers keep milking that titty, and guess what? There's none left. That went really weird place really quickly. All right. What else do you guys want to talk about? Should we end it here?
Oh, should we? I think we need to go out with a bang.
A bang?
A bang. A real banger.
I don't think so.
All right.
Who wants on top? I'll get.
All right, I'll be that bad.